100 at the MCG. How special was that, Maxie?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Unfortunately, didn't get the win, but to get that first 100 for the Melbourne Stars at the MCG in front of the home fans was awesome.
Now, I don't know if you've seen on social media, but the switch it, the reverse sweep's gone crazy with all the kids. You're the expert at playing it. Just give us a little bit of an identification of exactly what you need to do.
Yeah, so I suppose I use a couple of different ones. I have probably three main types of reverse sweeps I use. The traditional one, to a sense, which I try and keep along the ground, try and beat backward point along the ground. The one where I switch up my feet and try and hit it over the top of those fielders, and the switch hit where I basically turn myself into a left-hander and try and hit it over cover for 6.
Come on, get in your stance.
So what happens is, with my usual slightly open stance, for a reverse sweep, I don't really change my hands. I just basically turn my hands into a side-on position, so the bat's facing like that, and then trying to actually hit the ball down along the ground, try and stay in control and spin it around fine. The second one is more same position with the hands and getting myself into a side-on position where I then step into the ball and hit it sort of cross-handed over backward point, trying to get a little bit of leverage. And the final one, that's the big switch around, so you're changing yourself to a left-hander and then stepping out and trying to hit it as far as you can over cover.
I think most people will be thinking, OK, you can play all those shots, but when do you decide which one of those three you're going to play? Yeah,
so I think the first one, the one that's quite safe, it's generally if there's only one fielder behind point and the deep point fielder is a little bit too straight. So I'm looking to try and beat that short third man fielder, spin it around him along the ground and trying to move him a little bit squarer as well. So I find that's probably the safest option. Not always the one that gets the most runs, but it's probably the safer one. And the second one is probably when there's two fielders inside the ring there and I feel like I can get it over the top of them. And I feel like when I change my feet, I can create the body angle to actually lift the ball up and get it over those fielders. And the switch hit is probably more so when they do have that deep point a long way around. There's quite a big gap at cover outside the ring, and I feel like I can target either a short boundary with the wind. I feel like I can target that side a little bit better.
So you kind of premeditating once you've seen the field. Now, what kind of delivery are you looking for? What is the perfect delivery that you want from the spinner that gives you the option to play all of those shots?
So the more traditional reverse sweep is probably more from an off spinner. You know the ball's drifting away, going to be pitching mainly outside off stump, so you can get your foot outside the line and cover it with that. And actually, when you're playing the sweep, your foot's outside the line, so if you miss it, you can't be out LB, you're covering your stumps, and it feels like the ball's always going to be spinning back into your bat, so you can get that overspin and get the ball spinning around. The one that I go over the top, probably more for a left-arm orthodox who's targeting the stumps. It feels like you can actually create that angle, bit more pace on the ball, a little bit more skid. And then the switch hit's probably the easiest one to play off a leg spinner. If they do chuck up a nice slow leg spinner, you can have the time to turn around and really get up with it and hopefully hit with the spin.
Now, is it, well, 3 shots that you've talked us through. Kids, do they have to be playing that to be playing this format of the game?
Look, they don't have to be playing with it. It's probably one of those shots where if you have it in your armoury, it's really nice if you want to manipulate the field. So if you're a very good player over cover, it's a nice way to actually move the deep point fielder, move these two fielders behind point a little bit finer to actually open up that area. And that was one of the areas I was really strong, I suppose, as a young player. I was really good at hit over cover, and as soon as they squashed up that gap, I felt like I didn't really have many options. So developing that reverse sweep over a long period of time opened up some different gaps for me.
Right, I'm going to try you out. So you've got your 3 options.
Yep.
Now, I will apologise probably for my feet. I've not done this for a long period of time. So let's go for the first option, that fine one.
Yep. So trying to get the foot outside and trying to get it fine. Oh, almost top edge at my face. Let's try that again. So trying to get it along the ground, foot's going outside the line and trying to hit along the ground and beat backward point. The second one, I'm going to be switching my feet around and trying to get over that backward point fielder.
There you go. Nicely played, even with the jacket on. He's playing it nice. All right, the last one.
And the last one,
into the standards. If you look at those guys, look at them. There you go. Get ready, lads.
Rightio. So switch it.
Oh, go on, catch it. Catch it. Well, that's magnificent. The 3 different options, the fine, the one over the top, the one into the stand. Tom, over to you. A masterclass, the reverse switch by Glenn Maxwell.